Welcome back to another episode of the Talk to Chair Morning Show, where we go over tips, tricks, ideas, and exercises to help make you the absolute best entrepreneur you can be, not only for yourself, but for the people you love and care about most. You become better for not only you, but the people you love and care about most. You gotta be a little uncomfortable and take that leap of faith. You're in control of the process. I'm here with you. If we don't continue to grow, if we don't continue to move on, we will be sad and upset. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about ego, and kind of maybe to start with a definition to give it a little more context, because ego can be, it seems, a pretty complicated definition, and a bunch of different people have different definitions of it. It's part of our psyche that defines our perception of who we are. It is the part of our psyche that defines our perception of who we are, how we see ourselves in relation to others, and how we navigate the world around us. I'm reading over on some of my notes. The ego is responsible for regulating our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, and helps us to maintain a sense of control and stability in our lives. I think we've all heard of ego at some point or another. So I wanted to come on here and I wanted to give some examples of where my ego has gotten in the way and how it never helped me, and how I've come to peace with putting my ego aside to help find common ground with other people, seeing other ways that I can relate to people, seeing other ways how I can understand where their point of view is at, and having more empathy for them and less of my ego driving me of, I'm above this, I don't care, it doesn't matter to me, I've already been through that, I don't need to handle that. So we need to be careful with ego. So I'm going to go over 5 reasons why ego can get in the way. 5 reasons why ego can be a bad thing, and we're going to just go over some points on what those mean. So it's number 1, overconfidence. Overconfidence. Sometimes I was feeling overconfident with my skills and my abilities on what it is that I was doing, and my ego got in the way. I thought, okay, I went to college, I'm a pretty smart guy, or I have this going on. Being careful of your ego causing you to feel overconfident about something and feeling that you don't need to study the basics. People underestimate what they can do. No, it's backwards. They overestimate what you can do in a year, and then you underestimate what you can do in a decade. And I did that multiple times. I did that with real estate. I'm doing that with coaching. I thought I'd be way farther. I thought I'd be way better than what I am right now, but I'm only a couple years into it. Versus when I'm now looking at the big picture of things, it's like, oh, wow, if I keep doing what I'm doing for an entire decade, I hopefully will be very surprised with how far we can take this coaching company, the education company, my real estate portfolio, my relationship with my wonderful girlfriend, like how that all ties in together. So being careful of your ego, thinking you're being too overconfident. I need to be way farther than where I am right now. And that just builds up a bunch of anxiety in my stomach and riles me up. So being very careful of overconfidence to the point to where it alters our decision-making in a bad way. Arrogance is something that definitely happened to me when it comes to ego. Being careful of this one. This one is big time. When people are communicating with people who are, say, they're at a lower point in their lives, they don't have like particular hobbies that make a bunch of money, they're not particularly skilled at anything, or just whatever it may be, but believing that people are better than other people is bad, and it can make it very hard to feel empathy. Empathy is one of the greatest feelings that we can have for other people. Understanding that we share this world and that everyone's on different timelines in their own journey. Everyone has their own human experience. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for tuning in with us this morning. It's incredible to me how, like, I used to genuinely think like, oh, I don't need to do that. Like, I'm better than that. I don't need to mop floors. I don't need to do side little things. Like the stories and stuff that I've been dealing, like I was literally shoveling shit out of one of our rental properties. out of the basement, out of the water, and I'm doing that. I used to believe that I was above that. Now I'm seeing the process of like, okay, me doing this is going to raise so much equity in fixing up properties and making them better and exchanging them for better properties and using that capital to get into partnerships. Like I see the process and I see how I got to pay my dues. I used to think like, oh, I'm way above that. I don't have to do that. I don't need to do that. So be very careful of your ego thinking like, oh, I'm above this person. I'm better than this person. Number 3, personal growth prevents personal growth. Prevents personal growth. How do we grow as individuals? I think I had down here something about feedback and criticism. We may be resistant to feedback and criticism, yes. So when it comes to improving, we usually got to try something, screw up a little bit, get some feedback from other people. This was something that I was hesitant at first with, specifically the coaching company. I wasn't really scared to ask for help with real estate. Shout out to my family, my girlfriend, her family. They've helped me out a shitload with the rental property. So again, thank you very much. Didn't know what I was doing in a lot of ways, got a lot of help, continue to fix that. And then getting the feedback and the criticism, such as when the person came and put in a new furnace, he was like, oh, you didn't do this. Oh, you didn't have the pipes lined up like this way. Oh, you didn't bleed anything out. And I was like, I didn't know. But my ego could get in the way. And with real estate, that was fine. But for some reason, I was having a really hard time. And maybe you can hopefully relate this to your own situation, particular facets of your own life. With coaching, I wasn't confident about what I was trying to say to people, how I was interacting with people. And so that made me kind of scared to be vulnerable. I'm like, okay, this, I know for a fact, my 6-week course, one-on-one with me, 7 private coaching sessions, 6 incredible topics to help you understand yourself at the highest level possible to live your dream life. Like now I'm saying it with more conviction, but at first, when I was trying to figure out the process, I was like scared to ask my friends and family for help because I was like, oh, people are going to think this is stupid. I'm not very good. Or is this kind of cheesy? Is it woo-woo? And a lot of self-defeating thoughts and stuff like that. And because I was so scared to put out my message that I wasn't getting feedback and criticism. And without feedback and criticism, it makes it really hard to kind of change up your approach, get new, healthier perspectives, and then just grow as a person in general for that personal growth part. Ego can lead to selfishness. So selfishness is where we are focusing a little too much on ourselves, being very careful of this because it's so easy to get wrapped up in my ego. Think about all of your thoughts and think about the negative ones for just a second. Are they usually about you? I'm not doing this right. I'm not doing this enough. I don't have this and I want this in my life. I thought I would be better than this by now. I keep screwing up. Every time I get a chance, I keep screwing up and just having all these, our ego gets fed by the negativity, by the self-doubt, by the criticism, by the judgment, by all these negative aspects going on in our crazy minds. And I've come to terms where if I'm not thinking so much about me, if I'm thinking about my purpose of helping other people, about having a stronger relationship with my family, having a stronger relationship with my girlfriend, having a stronger relationship with my friends, when I start thinking of ways of how I can help these people, how I can show up and be a better person, and I'm not thinking about me all the freaking time, then I have noticed that my ego can't get in the way nearly as much. Selfishness kind of feeds into this, but it's so, I believe it to be very true. Negative emotions. So negative emotions are what drive us to feel like shit. They make us feel not that great. Turns out, surprise, surprise. So being careful of these negative emotions. And when they come up, taking the time to pause and be like, whoa, emotion police here. What is really going on? And just pausing, breathing, taking a second, feeling, and understanding, is it a thought or is it a feeling? Thought or feeling? Because chances are it's a negative thought that is driving the feeling. And the feeling feels bad. It feels painful. It causes our ego to rise. And he's like, no, we got to stop this. We got to get in the way of something. And then it's like, oh, well, maybe if you focused on yourself a little bit more, and maybe if you didn't listen to that asshole who's giving you feedback, then we'd be better. And then it kind of just feeds the beast in itself. So negativity can feed this pretty dramatically. And being very careful of negative thoughts driving our emotions. Letting our emotions be in the driver's seat, pausing, just breathing, and feeling what is really going on here can be really, really helpful. I always prescribe, I'm not a doctor, I don't prescribe anything, but recommend what has really helped for me is meditating 1 minute a day. Just one, take the time, pause, feel, and then you can gain your new perspective. Or you can at least try and understand it and develop a relationship with it a little better. That the human experience is amazing. The fact that I'm awake and I'm alive, that I woke up this morning after I blacked out for 9 hours, and I'm here doing this today, helping people. It's like, holy cow, there's a lot going on here, and we're all working in this together, right? So negative emotions, be careful that the ego likes to feed off of this, likes to dump negative thoughts to rile up the emotions part, to rile up the feeling part of us. And the way that we can combat this is to pause, to take a moment, to breathe for just a second. So let's go ahead. We're going to do a quick 60-second wrap up just for my social media guy. Okay, ego. Egos can be very bad in the sense that they cause us to be so overconfident that we're above things. Same with arrogance. I'm above other people, to preventing personal growth because I can't take any feedback or criticism from anyone without blowing my top off. Selfishness, the ego wants to focus only on me, when I know I get all of my fulfillment from helping other people. And then also the ego feeds negative thoughts to create negative emotions, to create negative feelings. And this can be a recipe for pain and suffering. So being very careful and understanding the source of this and pausing and taking the time to breathe. Thanks for checking out our content. If you want to learn more about investing in yourselves and working with me and our company personally, we offer a 6-week Total Life Mastery Bootcamp where we go over the most important topics to make sure that our life has the foundation we need to catapult us forward to take the right and proper actions to become happier and more productive, guaranteed, or our money back.